Hey everyone, my name is Tommy Reynolds and this is what was in my travel bag when I went to Vietnam. Nothing at all. So I've been getting a lot of requests about what gear did you take to Vietnam? Was there anything different from the stuff you took to India or to Iceland? So this is my 2017 camera travel bag. So I've got a couple of new bits that I really want to show you what I took this year when I went to Vietnam. So starting with the bag. So the bag is a Lowepro Flipside 400 AW. So this isn't really anything new, to be honest. So if you've been following my work, you'll know that this is my bag, my go-to bag. I always use this bag. I can't fault it. It's really, really good. One of the main reasons that I do have it is so that it allows me to film with my GoPro. So I'm able to get that footage from the back of my head because it very conveniently holds my my GoPro. So this is like a monopod from Pixapro, and just get rid of my hat, and it very conveniently holds my monopod where the tripod leg goes, and that's how I'm able to film the back of my head. So I can just lift this guy up and lift it up, extend it so it's pointed at the back of my head. And that's one of actually the main reasons why I've never really changed bags, because I'm really, really happy with this setup. It's how I'm able to film independently. So the other camera that I have that I just kind of keep in my pocket when I go traveling is my pocket camera, my compact camera that I use for vlogging. This is the Sony RX100 Mark IV, and I use this for kind of B-roll, just extra little bits if I want to get close up on someone working. So something different from the GoPro, because I think if it was just all GoPro footage from the back of my head, it might get a bit boring. So this kind of changes it up a bit. So I might hand it to Emily, who went with me to Vietnam, to film some bits, or I might just get some close-ups of what I'm doing. So that sort of thing, yeah. So I really, really like this camera. It's my favorite compact. So this is the Sony RX100 Mark IV. So this kind of just sits in my jacket pocket or my trouser pocket, and I can just pull it out and do a bit of filming, quick bit of filming. If you want to learn more specifically about how I film my behind the scenes videos when I go traveling, then I'll leave a link in the description below, or you can click the link up there and you can watch my talk at the Photography Show 2017, where I spoke specifically on how you can film your next photo trip independently. So check that out if you haven't already done so. All right, but let's get inside the bag. Okay, so inside the bag, I'll start with the camera. So I use a Canon 5D Mark III. This isn't, again, anything new. This is the same camera I've been using this camera for years. I absolutely love this camera, does everything I need to. I have no plans to upgrade to the Mark IV. The Mark III does everything I need it to do. The Mark IV is great, it just doesn't offer quite enough for me to warrant the upgrade. So the Mark III is perfectly fine. I'm really, really, really happy with the content that I get from it. I didn't take the battery grip with me. I just wanted to keep the camera as small as I possibly could, so I didn't take the battery grip with me, but I did make sure I carry plenty of batteries, which I keep in here, and as well as my memory cards, which I keep in this nice little pelly case. So I mainly use compact flash cards because I come from the 5D Mark II, which only accepted CF cards, but the Mark III can now accept SD and CF. But because I've still got all my CF cards, I choose to use CF. And actually the CF card slot is actually reads faster than the SD card slot on the 5D Mark III. So that's another reason why I choose to use the compact flash cards. They do read quicker, even if you have a faster memory card than a CF card. So let's go on to the flash. So this was something new from last year. Last year I used the Hybrid 360 by Pixapro. Now I'm using a brand new product from Pixapro, which only came out this year and I saw for the first time at the photography show. And that's the Pika 200 TTL. So it kind of looks like a big flash gun, except there's no hot shoe. But this is great, and what I love about this is compared to the hybrid obviously had like a big, not a big battery, but it was a battery that you had to either throw over your shoulder or you had to hang it somewhere. Whereas this, it's all built in, so the battery is built into it. And you might think, okay, well that's probably not going to chuck out as much power. And technically you're right, but the Hybrid 360 only chucks out 1/3 of a stop more power than this. Only 1/3 of a stop. That's not much at all, considering that now the battery is just that little thing there in here. And me personally, I didn't see, I didn't warrant needing the hybrid over this. I didn't feel like at any point, I think the hybrid is much better. Not saying that the hybrid isn't good, but this was much more convenient because it's lighter, and weight is obviously an issue for me. Every little bit counts. In terms of battery life, I don't know the exact number. I will leave the link in the description below. But what I love about this as well is you have the ability to change the head. So at the moment it looks like the Hybrid 360 because it has this bare bulb, and I like to use this over the other one because it has like a more of a 360 flash. But you do have the option to change it so it looks more like a traditional flash gun on the front. And that's great if I'm using products like Magmod. So that's great because you can now finally use Magmod products on something a little bit more powerful. So that's why I will change it to that. But if I'm not using Magmod, then this is my kind of go-to where I'll leave this on. Another great thing about this flash compared to the Hybrid Mark 1 that is, because last year I used the Hybrid Mark 1. So what's good about this is the ST3 receiver, so my receiver to trigger this flash is built into this flash, which is really good because the Hybrid last year I had to have a separate receiver connected to the hot shoe. I don't need to do that with this, so that saves me a couple of AA batteries straight away because it's all built in, so that's really, really handy. That's super, super helpful. So yeah, this is definitely my now go-to flash of choice when I'm traveling versus the Hybrid. The convenience of it was brilliant, didn't need to worry about any battery. ST3 receiver is built in, it's lighter as well, so it was definitely a win-win for me. The trigger to trigger the flash was this, it's the ST3 as I said. It's great, I can channel it by different groups, different channels. Not that I needed to because I only took, well I did take 2 Pikas but I only ended up using 1. But you can use high-speed sync mode with this. I love it because I can trigger my City 600 and my flash guns and my Pika all at the same time, which is great because they all have the built-in ST3 receiver, so that's always my go-to. Lenses. So I only took 3 lenses with me, and the first one is the Sigma 35mm f1.4 Art Series lens. Absolutely love this lens. This is probably my favourite prime lens that I will reach for and my kind of go-to when I'm not too sure what I want to do framing wise yet. So this will be the one I grab first. I love it. It's the most sharpest lens I own, which is when it's fully wide open to 1.4. I cannot recommend this lens enough. It's perfect for me. It's not too close in and not too far away. So a big part of my photography, I like to capture the surroundings as well. So the 35mm is great for that. And another good one that I also pull out is the 50mm. Everyone's got to have a 50mm in their bag. So I carry the 50mm 1.4 Canon one. I have no reason to go to the Mark II, sorry, the 1.2 version, because this does everything I need it to do. I rarely shoot wide open anyway, so going to 1.2 is not going to be needed for me. I'm perfectly happy with the quality of the 50mm f1.4. The last lens is my ultra wide angle. It's my Canon 16 to 35mm f2.8. Absolutely love this lens. If you're a landscape photographer, you're most likely going to have this in your camera bag. Not that this was really a landscape holiday, but it's always nice to have it because you never know what kind of situation you're going to be in where you might need a little bit more width. And I certainly needed it when, for example, I was shooting on the boat, the rowing boat. I just couldn't get back wide enough to use my 35mm, so that's when I pulled out my 16 to 35, as well as taking the landscape shots as well. I used the 16 to 35. So yeah, it's always nice to have just in case. But to be honest, 90% of the shots were taken with either the 35mm or the 50mm. So let's talk softboxes. So the softbox I took with me was the Pixapro 90cm easy open softbox. And I'm going to call this the Mark II version of the softbox because of a couple of things. So last year I took the same softbox with me to India, but what I like about the Mark II version that I'm calling it is, first of all, the bag is different. It now has a nice shoulder bag. Last year the bags were just a sleeve basically, so it wasn't very easy to carry. You had to carry it under your arm, but now it comes in a nice little shoulder bag where we can throw it. I can throw it over my shoulder, or Emily can carry it, which is always nice when you have an assistant. So that's a great thing. And another good thing, and what I did differently compared to last year, is when we open this up, I keep the monopod that Emily was holding to keep the softbox up. I keep that inside the bag so that she's got everything she needs to pull out the softbox and the monopod and attach it. Another thing I did differently this year is I kept the S bracket. So if we pull it out of the bag, so this thing here, this is their smart bracket. So this is a Bowen's fit. So I left that attached to that softbox and left it in the bag. So this is great, by the way, this S bracket. Through here you can stick a hybrid, I can stick my flash gun, or I can stick the new Pika in there as well. So rather than having it separate and away from it, I just kept this attached and put it straight in the bag. So all Emily had to do was pull this out, open the softbox, and then attach it there, and then she's ready to go. Then I just hand her the Pika, and then it's ready to go. So it made things just that little bit quicker. Not much, and I guess it's only a small thing, but it's surprising how much quicker and more efficient it felt like on the day or when we were shooting. Just have things almost set up ready to go. Another reason I'm calling this the Mark II version, and let me just open this up and I'll show you. Okay, so before I show you that, I just want to show you that the 90cm has two layers of diffusion. It's got an inner and an outer diffusion, and the reason why I call it the Mark II version of this softbox is last year, this bit, if I show you, this bit went all the way to the edge, so the catch light was like a hexagonal shape. It wasn't a perfect circle, whereas you can see now that they've kind of blacked it off around the edges, so you can see that the only thing coming out, and it's hitting the white here, is a circular shape. So you get a nice circular catch light in the subject's eyes now, and that's another reason why I'm calling this the Mark II version of this 90cm softbox. I wanted to try and get the softest light I could, and this was it for me when going abroad. So might be excessive, but that's my style. That's what I liked. So that is the Pixapro 90cm easy open softbox. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you, technically I didn't take it to Vietnam, but I'm including it anyway as part of my 2017 camera travel bag, and that's called the Gnarbox. So this will go with me on all future trips. Now, what the hell's the Gnarbox? So what it is a fantastic Kickstarter product that I've waited to come for 2 years, and it's finally come. It's basically a hard drive with a Wi-Fi hotspot. So on the side here I can plug in SD cards, micro SD cards, USB 3 for compact flash cards. So this enables me to back up my data without the need of a computer. So the way it works is I plug in, let's say for example I've done some filming on my micro SD card on my GoPro. I plug this in, and then I access my Gnarbox via the built-in Wi-Fi hotspot using the free app on my phone, and I tell it to copy over and back up all the content. So I got about 120 gigabyte hard drive built in, so I can back up all of my data whilst I'm on the move without needing to pull my laptop out. It's brilliant. It's shock-proof, splash-proof, sand-proof. It's built really solidly. And the best thing about it is not only that, via the app you can also edit some of your stuff in full resolution, in 4K, up to 4K, and upload it directly to your social media in full resolution. You will not lose anything. So for example, I could be out and I could take a clip on my GoPro, and I think I want to upload this straight away. So I can back up the content to my Gnarbox, and I can access the editing program via the Gnarbox, and I'm accessing all the footage via the Wi-Fi, so I'm not taking up any space on my phone at all. You're playing it all through here, and I can cut the clip, adjust the color, tweak the exposure, add a bit of music, export it and upload it straight away to my social media in full resolution. This thing is brilliant. This is coming with me everywhere I go. This is the Gnarbox and I love it. This is great. That's about it, but I think a couple of things to mention, like the other extra bits that I didn't mention in previous videos, is obviously in the hold luggage I keep all the chargers. So the GoPro charger, the DSLR charger, the flash charger. I keep all of the chargers in the hold luggage, all the wires, all that sort of thing. Importantly though, all the batteries must be in your carry-on luggage, because they don't like lithium rechargeable batteries in the hold in case they spontaneously combust. So make sure when you're traveling you keep all your batteries in here, but you can put all the chargers, because they might not fit in here. So put all your chargers in your other bag. Also worth noting, and a really good tip, is because you're going to potentially have your GoPro charger, compact charger, DSLR charger and your flash chargers all on the go, take one of these with you. It's such a good tip. Take one of these with you versus taking loads and loads of adapters, because what I do is I put on the end, so there's one of the adapters on the end, so one adapter turns into four plugs, so I can charge everything from here. And it's great because then you're not carrying loads and loads of plugs or adapters. You may have loads of adapters, but your hotel room might only have a couple of plugs. So there was a really extreme case in Sri Lanka when I didn't take any of this. I only had 2 plugs and I only had like 1 or 2 adapters. So I was actually setting alarms to wake myself up to swap out battery chargers, which, you know, isn't really good, having to do that in the night. I'm having to take my DSLR charger off and then put something else on charge. So this is brilliant. So I definitely recommend taking one of these, and then you only need then a couple of adapters with you. That's what's in my 2017 camera bag. If you have any questions, then please leave comments below and I'll be happy to answer them. But that's about it from me. Thanks ever so much for watching this video, guys, and if you liked it, make sure you hit that like and share button, or subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And as always, I will see you again next time. Cheers, thanks very much. Bye bye.